What's up? Welcome back to the Goon Squadcast with your hosts, T-Mass
and Vash D.
We're finally back. The year is 2018. This is our episode for January 1st that we are recording on December 31st. And it's been a wild ride this year. I mean, we've really been through...
We've been through hell and back, man.
Some stuff, man.
We've definitely been through some stuff.
Some stuff. I think the first topic we're going to cover, we're going to go ahead and dedicate the beginning of this podcast to our
good friend
beloved friend Mike, who passed away earlier this year, completely unsuspected.
Yeah, to us at least. It was definitely a unknown thing for us. It kind of just caught us by surprise.
Yeah,
we were definitely we had made plans for
take it back.
Weekend.
Take it back before we wait. Hold on. Go ahead.
Yeah, we had made plans for a weekend to go and watch, our some wrestling for WrestleMania.
Yeah. Well, before that, he was out. He was out of work for...
Yeah, he went out of work because, he was,
He had some bleeding from a vein or something in his left leg that they had tried to fix, and when he thought it was done after his medication, it continued to bleed again.
It just didn't...
So he was out constantly, and I remember, I think 2 or 3 weeks before he died, I actually called him. I didn't mention this the first time we tried to record this, but I actually called him to talk to him and see how he was doing, and he said he was doing all right. He'd be back in a couple weeks, and I was like, all right, awesome.
Yeah, and also he was supposed to come back. I remember his comeback date was ironically April 1st.
Yep.
Yeah, and we all, because a couple of guys at work, we always joked about that. It's just like, yeah, he's like, it was just like one of those things like, yes, when he's supposed to come back, who knows if he will come back, but he says he's going to come back, so we believe that he's going to come back, but it was always a joke that he ain't going to come back. He's going to be like, April Fools, and then come back in the next day or something.
Well, Patrick made that same joke, except that when he made that joke, he said,
I was talking about. That's who I talked to that made.
Oh
that
yeah. He was like, I'm not coming back, but it wasn't just I'm not coming back. He's like, he'll probably die.
Well, he always says that about everybody. He says that about.
Well, yeah, Patrick's morbid as.
Yeah,
morbid as heck.
Yeah, he says that about a lot of the older guys that we worked with, but I don't know why we're laughing about that, but yeah,
it's because if Mike was sitting here, he'd be laughing about it too.
He'd be laughing his butt off right now. But yeah, I remember I got a call from work, and my old boss Josh had called me. He was just like, "Hey, you sitting down?" I was just like, "Yeah, what's going on, man?" He's like, he goes, "I hate to be the one to tell you this, but Mike Clark died," and I immediately felt like I was drowning underwater when I heard that, and I was just like, "Dude, that's not funny. Don't like," and thinking it's just like, "Oh yeah, he should like maybe he came back early," and it's just like, "Oh, Mike's put you up to this. That's not funny, but okay," and he's like, "No, it happened. He's gone," and then another friend. That's really good friends with him. Our friend Bert got on the phone and was like, his wife called me and she let me know that he's gone, and I immediately just broke down and I was like, dude, this is terrible. I was like, dude, that guy has done a lot. That guy did a lot for me. When we used to hang out, he did a lot, and then I had to break the news to Ty, and I was like, this is gonna be even worse to try to have to tell somebody else about what's going on.
Yeah, phone call, man.
when you're absolutely a mess, you're trying to pull yourself together to tell somebody else that's probably gonna be just as worse. And I was good on the first probably a couple seconds on the phone, and I just lost. I was like, I can't do this. I can't do it.
I had just gone. I was going through a lot of stuff at that time. I had gone through a failed relationship late in the year before, and then going into the next year, a confused state where I liked someone who couldn't be with me because their heart was just not there. And then I dated somebody else, and that had ended really badly, at least for her, but I still felt guilty over it. And I have all this depression, anxiety built up in my system that I was kind of trying to work through. And right when I felt like I was starting to get to a point where I think things are going to get better, I get a phone call at 6:45, 6:40, somewhere in there, from Derek telling me, "Hey, listen, man, Mike Clark's dead." And I'm like, "No, there's no way. No, are you messing with me?" Actually, at first you said Mike, and I was like, "Mike who?" And you said Mike Clark, and it took me a second. I had to jog my mind, and I thought of Mike. Finally, it finally arrived, and I was like, "No, this isn't real. This can't be real." So immediately following that, I called in to work, and like they were real understanding about it. They were like, "We knew that you were really good friends with him, so if you want to take the day off, that's fine." So I was like, "All right, thank you." So I called in, and then we decided to meet up at IHOP, and we spent the morning
basically grieving over like one of our good friends passing.
Yeah, I mean, it messed us up pretty bad, but we were sitting there cracking jokes about just every joke we could possibly think about Mike that would make him laugh, and just his sense of humor, and just remembering him. And it was a tough breakfast for us to have, talking about the passing of our friend, but it was necessary, you know.
And then there was actually going to the funeral, which was even the visitation and the funeral were actually a lot worse as well. You know, because you're actually seeing the body in the casket.
We did a cool little tribute thing that may not mean a lot to a lot of you guys, but for us, I think it meant a lot. We were all fans of the Shield, so when we went up to Mike's casket, we put out our fists just like the Shield do. We said our names.
I forgot we did.
And Kevin Zeiler did it with us. He didn't know what was going on, but he still did it.
Oh yeah, he sure did.
Part of me was like, "Get your hand out here before I punch you in the face." Yeah. no offense, Kevin. You're not in on this.
You're gonna get hit in the dick, dude.
You did not put in on this.
Yeah. But yeah, that was a thing. And then after that, when WrestleMania happened, we went and got a crave case from White Castle, because that was his thing. He loved White Castle, so we cracked open a crave case, and individually between me, Tyler, and our friend Logan, we split the crave case and ate that, which, you know,
tribute to Mike, man. Yeah. His favorite thing to do is to go to White Castle, get food, and then
that or Taco Bell and blow.
Well, he said he'd never go to Taco Bell again.
Yeah, and blow my bathroom up. Yeah, but, you know,
for Royal Rumble this past year, Derek. I walked in. I had to use the restroom, and I walk in there, and I cut on the lights, and I look at the sink, and there's like a big pack of toilet paper on there.
I think we even told you to go use. Like, we're like, "Hey, before you come in, go use. Like, go to the bathroom."
Did you say? I don't remember.
I think that was like the big thing. Like, or if you had to go use the restroom, we made it a point that you looked at the toilet paper.
Did you?
I had it. Yeah, I believe so. It was a thing.
Oh no, you told me not to use the toilet paper on the sink, and I was like,
"That's right." Yeah, it was actually on top of on the toilet, like on the toilet lid, the back end of it, like where the tank is. Like, do not use that because that's Mike's belt.
Yeah, we didn't say it was Mike's belt at the time. You just said don't use that. Yeah. And I walk in there and I read for Mike, and I'm like, no, and I start laughing. I start laughing so hard. The first time we recorded this, I said that Mike, like, I got out there and he was smiling. Mike wasn't even there yet. When I got there, I was like, "Hey, Mike, go check the bathroom."
Yeah, that's right.
He goes in there and we just hear, "Ah!"
Yeah, just big laughter, and
it was
he
so
comes
funny,
out.
dude.
He comes walking around that corner with that big, like,
that big evil grin,
Jim Carrey grin that he's got, and it was just like he's like, "Yeah, my boys."
Yeah. oh man, I miss Mike so much, dude. About, I guess, after we did the tribute thing for WrestleMania, I think it was a week or two after that, I had a show with my band Sounds Like a Lawsuit at Union Station, and we came out to The Undertaker's theme. I dedicated my performance that night to Mike. And everybody there thought it was really cool, and I was excited. I was really happy and satisfied.
Wish I could have been there for that one.
It was an interesting show.
Yeah, didn't get to see you with Kingslayer. Still haven't seen Kingslayer.
Oh, that wasn't even Kingslayer. That was Slaw.
Oh, shoot. Even worse now. I
guess.
Even worse. I didn't even go see that one.
Yeah, it's all good. You didn't miss too much. That show was a mess. I don't really want to get into the details of it, but the guy that put that on, really,
was he a real promoter?
I don't think so, man. It was it. We'll dedicate another podcast to all my bad show experiences, and I'll include that.
Dude, promoters are like the craziest thing. I've only had to deal with it once. I don't do just a sidebar. I don't do anything with music yet.
But
no. Little quick side story. I just thought of it now.
Go for it.
Worked at a bar that was that brought in that brought in musical talent, and
Yep.
Future was the musical talent, and that night was something else because there was a lot of people that were involved with that night. But just dealing with promoters is just is a very interesting thing. You always hear people talk about that are in music. That's the first thing they talk about. It's just promoters can be either really good and some can be really bad. But it's just interesting just to actually, when you hear all these and you actually witness it for the first time, it's just like, wow.
Yep.
It can go left really quick.
That's what happened with that show. Is all I heard was bad stuff, and I was like, it won't be that bad.
Yeah, it won't be that bad. And then it's just all of a sudden it's just like, oh my god.
And then I'm talking to Chris from Kingslayer, and I'm trying to explain to them where we're playing at, because I have a show at Sounds Like a Lawsuit the same night they have a show at Brewski's, and Lucas was still in the band at the time, so I didn't have to go to the show at Brewski's. I was going to try and make it to where we play early, and I was going to go to the show at Brewski's afterwards and jump on stage with Kingslayer. Yeah. I hadn't learned all the songs yet. I had only been in the band for like a couple of weeks, and I knew about 3 or 4 songs sort of decently to get through them, you know, but not to where I'd be comfortable playing them. But as I'm telling Chris about where we're playing, he just goes, "You're playing where?" And I go, "Union Station." He's like, and I was like, "What?" He's like, "Just try not to get tetanus." I was like, "It's that bad?" He's like, "Dude, listen, they have a sex club that hangs out there." I was like, "Wait,
say
what?" Yeah, no, that's what he told me. Yeah, he said there was like a swingers or something to go in there, and they have like.
Oh, is that the club that got shut down that place that got shut down this year? Or is it still?
No, I don't think so. No.
Okay, I know that there was some big place in Louisville that got shut down.
It wasn't
because of a sex club. But
there was some kind of story like that behind it, and then but he was telling me not to get Tetris, not to touch anything. And then he told me the sound really wasn't all that great, which he was right on. Mm-hmm. And then it got worse, as he said, if you drop one of the panels near one of the backstage, I think near the backstage, a sex swing will fall down. Now, we didn't find this thing. I didn't go searching for this, but this is what I walked into the Union Station. And it actually, thinking about it now, makes me wish Mike could have been there. I mean, that's the show we did my little tribute for Mike, but it's so ironic that it was in a place like that. Not that Mike was this like sexual deviant or something, but if he had heard that story,
he would have died.
Oh, absolutely. He would have died.
He'd have been done.
Oh, dude, he would have laughed his ass off.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was an interesting thing. What's our next topic?
Do you want to continue on the topic of your music career?
Yeah, I guess we can talk about that.
What's been going on there? Because you did have a big one. You were in 2 bands.
Yeah, I was in Kingslayer for a couple of months, and
you put a lot of groundwork in with Sound Like a Lawsuit.
Yeah. I joined Kingslayer earlier this year. Lucas, their former guitar player, actually picked me. I think they had maybe 2 guys come out. They had a couple people they were talking to, but ultimately I was picked because I fit the description of a metal guitar player, being tall, long hair, beard, and being able to play guitar pretty well. And yeah, I got picked for Kingslayer. First show with them was at Mag Bar, and that was a lot of fun. Actually, technically I was going to dedicate my performance that night to Mike, but I forgot while I was on stage, so I did it later. That Sounds Like a Lawsuit.
Which was probably a better show to do it at. Anyway.
I suppose so. Yeah, we really didn't have that big of a crowd.
Yeah.
At that Kingslayer show. I mean, it wasn't a bad crowd or anything. It just wasn't very big. Mm-hmm. Not that the crowd size matters. It's all just doing it. It's all what's in your heart. When you do something like that. Yeah. But yeah, I played a couple shows. I played at least. That was the most. Because of Kingslayer, I played more shows this year than I ever have.
Well,
before.
You got to widen your horizon with things. So you actually went on a small mini tour. Sort
of. I mean, I wouldn't say that it was a mini tour necessarily.
Bro, it's a mini tour. You went to a couple surrounding cities, and you got to play in a band. So
I have traveled. We played Powerfest this year, which that was the best part. That was the cherry on top of joining Kingslayer. It's not only do I have the pressure of learning a band's music, where they actually have a reputation built upon this music and the style in which it's played, the energy level as well. People know who they are. And as soon as I get there, and I'm told this as soon as I arrived, so you've got about a month and a half to 2 months to learn all our material because we were playing Powerfest out in Cincinnati. The information is not out on the internet yet, but this is a thing. And I was like, really? And he's like, yeah. And typically the amount of people that shows up to this, about 200, 300 people maybe. I think there was 400 last year. And I'm like, oh, that's
great.
awesome.
Thanks,
okay,
pal.
well, this was cool, guys, but I can't do this. So, but I did it. And, we played Power Fest. We killed it. And it was a great experience getting to travel to Cincinnati. We played Nashville a couple times, Nash Vegas. Technically,
Nash City, the nasty Nash.
yeah, it was cool, man. Playing, I think we played in
Good times in Nashville.
we played in Ohio. I know we played in Ohio. I'm trying to think. I think we played in Indiana too. I can't really remember. I think that's where Insidious are from. They're like 2.5 hours up into northern Indiana is where they're at. And that was actually nobody was at that show, but it was still a cool experience. I like the place that we played a lot. But yeah,
Indiana's got a lot of nice venues up there.
Really?
Yeah, dude. I went to go see Nashville and what is it? Nashville and Indiana. Well, I take it back. Indianapolis has a lot of great small venues. I went to a Childish Gambino concert. Both of them concerts that I went to Nashville and Indianapolis were both Childish Gambino concerts when he first started, and the venues there that I went to were small, little hole in the wall places that were really nice. And then I've been to a couple I guess rock concerts, smaller rock concerts at venues at one in also in Nashville, which was pretty sweet too.
Yeah.
Which Nashville is also the music, it's
music capital of the United States, man. And country, but yeah, I mean, it's everything now.
Yeah, when we went to that friend's bachelor party, that's all, you go downtown Nashville, that's all it's playing down there is just music everywhere. Just live music, not even just music, it's just live music. There was a club that we went to, and it was like, at least I want to say I was pretty intoxicated, so I remember 3 floors. I want to say there was more, but on each floor somebody was playing something. Like on the ground floor to the second floor to the third floor, there was somebody playing. There was a live band playing something.
That's like Phoenix Hill,
which was never been to Phoenix Hill.
I went once, but it was I went twice actually. I saw a band up at the up on the top stage in the top area, and then I saw one downstairs.
That's dope.
Yeah, it was cool.
But yeah, that was just my little tangent that I want to say that shout out to music venues. Shout out to good music venues.
There's a couple out there, man. My favorite right now is Trixie's. That was a cool experience, is playing at Trixie's.
That's right. I forgot you guys played there, and I wanted to go to that one so bad.
We played there 3 times now. The first time, because I knew 2 of the guitar players in Galactic Empire. Name drop.
That's a dope name, though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're that famous Star Wars themed metal band that's got millions of views on their video.
Okay.
It's them. I didn't know. What was it? I think it was September last year. I want to say it was September. We played a show with a band called Illustrium, this technical death metal band. Really good musicians, really nice guys. And I added all of them on Facebook like the next day. Mm-hmm. And I remember the night that we played with them, one of their guitar players had said that they were in a Star Wars themed band. I was like, oh, that's cool. I just kind of blew it off, whatever. Because I just, whenever you play in a place like Brewski's, no offense to Brewski's, but it's a small venue. It's not a lot of big bands play there. It's mostly local bands and bands that are traveling through that just kind of need a show to get gas money to go to the next city or at least to get home. And Illustrium with one of those bands. Now, granted, after I had seen their stuff when they got up on stage, I knew they were kind of big stuff because they had a entire case worth of gear they're running, like Axe Effects and like a whole bunch of nice stuff, a laptop to play samples in the background. They had all that, and that really impressed me. But even with all that, him saying I'm in a Star Wars themed band, I was like, whatever. Just sounds like a passion project. It's not whatever. It's probably not a big deal. And I go home and I add these people, and then I guess a week within adding them, I start seeing these pictures of them dressed up in Star Wars costumes, and I'm like,
yo, this is legit?
What is this about? And then I click on Galactic Empire. I didn't know the name of the band, like the Star Wars band that did that video before. But I click on it, 71,000 likes, and I'm like, I'm friends with 2 of the members of Galactic Empire? What? And yeah, but when they played here back in, I don't even remember when that show was, man. I want to say it was sometime in July. Maybe, July. Maybe it was in August. I'm not sure. it was a good experience. Usually, we in Kingslayer we run this computer system that's hooked up to a PA, and the guitars run through it, and sometimes the bass does too. But James kind of runs his own cab and stuff on stage most of the time. But I think lately he's been running straight into the system. I think he's been using his head directly in the system to anybody that cares. But that was my first time playing at Trixie's. I didn't know what to expect because everybody told me Trixie's is a strip club.
It was a strip club. Is it not a strip club anymore? That's what I was going to ask you.
Okay, so technically it's, I think as of a year and a half or 2 years ago.
It's an entertainment place.
Well, yeah, it's an entertainment complex. But here's how it goes. When you walk in through the doors, the left side is all the stripper stages, all the exotic dancer stages. And the back room is where you get your lap dances and stuff like that. There's a bar in there too, right?
Champagne room.
Right? The boom boom room. And then, but here's the thing. If you turn right, there's the main stage for all the bands to play, and it looks just like a music venue. They used to have stages in there too for for dancers and stuff.
I remember, what was it? What was it? Who's that rapper that we kept joking that we were going to go see? Not Riff Raff, but it was the other white. No, the other white rapper.
Slim Jesus?
No.
Stitches,
yes.
Yeah.
So after that concert happened here, and we were talking about going, we didn't go. I actually saw on was it YouTube or something like that?
Instagram.
I saw some footage of that place, and I think he had some strippers actually come on the stage.
That sounds like
they stripped on the stage, and I was like, that is fresh, and I was so mad that we didn't go. I was so
I think Riff Raff did the same thing though. I'm sure any rapper that plays there.
Yeah, they do the same thing, but yeah.
But yeah, we played there. We opened for Galactic Empire. We plugged directly into the system that night, and I gotta say the sound sounded so immaculate. I'm so used to not hearing myself on stage with Kingslayer because Mark's guitar is cranked way louder than mine because he's the lead guitar player. And it's always annoying trying to find my sound in there and make sure I'm playing everything right when all I hear is I love Mark and everything, but it's Jesus, it's not his fault. It's just the way we had it set up at the time. We finally fixed that a little bit. But anyway, playing at Trixie's, I could perfectly hear myself plugging directly in the system. Speakers sounded great. Loved that place so much that I fought for 2 shows there, which sounds like a lawsuit, actually. We opened for Soil, a band I've been listening to since I was 12 years old. The lead singer used to be the lead singer for Drowning Pool.
Oh, wow.
For a couple of years.
There you go.
Yep, from I think 2005 or 2006 to about 2012, 2013, somewhere in there is when he finally left and went back to Soil. Okay. But yeah, I got to meet him. There's a picture of us together on Facebook, and he was really cool, really down to earth. They had some technical difficulties, but that was the first time Slaw played there. And then we went to Louder Than Life. Me and Harlan went to Louder Than Life, and I saw this band called He Is Legend. And I said, directed at the performance, I said, hey, if you guys ever come through Louisville, we would love to open for you guys. We're 2 metalcore bands stuck in a genre that's oversaturated, but we're 2 unique bands that should play on the same bill, something along that line. And about a couple days later, it got announced that He Is Legend was playing at Trixie's.
There you go.
So I hit up Trey immediately, and we had the Soil show to get through, and he said, look, give me some time. I've got some bands that I kind of want to play for it, but I kind of want to give other bands a chance, but let's just get through this. We'll see how things go. We played the Soil show, and immediately after the show, I walked up to thank him for having us out, and he said, you go with the He Is Legend show? You guys got it, man. He dug us that much. He threw us on that. And that night we got love from everybody, from Foxbat, from, I can't remember the name of the other band right now, but every band that played gave Sounds Like a Lawsuit some love, man. And the fact that the headlining band even remembered our name was really cool. To hear Skylar, the lead singer, He Is Legend, just be like, you guys make some noise for Sounds Like a Lawsuit. If they got some merch, buy some merch. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. Every band did it. We showed every band love. It was awesome. It was a great experience.
Do you guys have merch?
Not yet. We're working on it. I have a special lady in my life who's very, very good at illustrating things.
Well, and if you get her to illustrate you something, come holler at me.
All right, we'll talk, man. Yeah, we'll talk. Yeah. I got another contact too, though.
Yeah. Okay.
But we'll talk. Yeah. We'll talk. I feel you. I see where you're getting at. But yeah, that's all that really happened for me in music this year. I know that we recorded Makeshift Solo, and we're currently Sounds Like a Lawsuit, rather. I had to quit Kingslayer. I didn't mention that. I had to get a real job.
Wow, that sounds so terrible when you say it like that.
I hate to say it like that, but it's
get a real job.
Well, it's true. No, it's true. I got to a point where like I was working at Old Chicago because I lost my job at Lowe's earlier this year, and I went to Old Chicago trying to pick up hours, and instead of making me full time, they had me as part time. And when I thought I switched to full time, nobody was a full time except for managers. Nobody said anything to me. The manager that technically got me into training for Pizza Line neglected to tell me that little detail. So I was picking up between 25 and 30 hours, topping out at 32 sometimes, but that was it. And sometimes I was even losing hours from that. And I was not able to make enough money. And from touring with Kingslayer and all the stuff that I was doing with that, I was losing money taking dates off. Yeah, I couldn't afford my bills. I couldn't afford to pay rent at the place I live at now. I couldn't really afford to pay rent at the apartment we had. And I was just like, I've got credit cards that I have got to pay off. I've got a hospital bill I've got to pay off from earlier this year when I went in there and found I had really bad allergies when I couldn't breathe at work.
Oh, that's right. I remember
that. That was scary for me.
And then didn't Lowe's fire you because of that?
A couple of days later, they used it. No, they did use it against me. I was out of.
That was the straw that broke the camel's back.
Well, that was one of them,
quote unquote.
Yeah, well, I mean, they kept warning me, and Rhonda kept telling me that if I was late, and Jim said the same thing. If I was late, they'd have to let me go. They didn't want to, but they were going to let me go. And I had to take the day off because I couldn't breathe, and I didn't have any,
man, if you can't breathe, there's no reason for you. I mean, I can't breathe. Better get back to work, boy.
Yep.
It's just like, well, I guess this is going to be my last day either way because I'm either going to die or you're going to fire me.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of how that conversation felt with Sean Ogden. I had to say his name. I don't care.
I wish I could have been there for that conversation.
I mean, it was awkward. I walked in there. I'm like, hey, I can't breathe. And he's like, oh, well, that's cool. I didn't say it that way. No,
I swear I wish I could have been there.
I didn't say it that way.
Oh, my God. I wish I could have been there for that conversation.
I told him, and he was like, do you have any, like, time that you can take off or whatever? I was like, no. And he's like, well, you got to do what you got to do. And I'm like, well, thanks for saying it that way.
It is what
jackass.
It is. It is what it is, homie.
Yeah, and anyway, yeah, he that was the conversation we had, and I left, and I went to the hospital, and I couldn't breathe, and they hooked me up to a machine, and they told me that I just had severe, what was it, sinusitis, or I forget how you say it, but it's just really bad sinuses and allergies. What had happened was, I working at Lowe's, I'm constantly around dust, so it was making it hard for me to breathe because my insides, well, my lungs were kind of
filled with crap.
Yep. Well, no, it was filled with gunk, but
sawdust.
It was inflamed. Like my throat passage and everything was inflamed from all this like dust and pollen at the time.
Dust, pollen, and
whatever
emissions that was coming off that forklift that you drive.
Yeah, all that CO2.
24/7.
Yeah, it was rough, man. And a couple of days later, let me go, and then.
You gave me that call when I was in Nashville at a bachelor party.
Yep.
And I was like, "You lucky son of a gun!"
Yep.
2 of my friends get fired from the place that I've been praying to get fired from.
Yep.
I was like, "You guys can't even what do I gotta do? What do I gotta do?"
Well, I remember that day that I got fired. I actually went to Old Chicago to talk to them about picking up more hours, and I did it. I went live on Facebook, and I owned up. Everybody was really proud of me for being responsible about everything. But the best part was that, like, when I revealed where I was at, I was being like Bret Hart.
Oh, you tried to do the old WCW.
I did, actually. I alluded to that, and I was like, just because things didn't work out in the WWE, and I just kind of turned the camera to show the Old Chicago sign behind me. I was trying to be dirty about it. But yeah, no, I wasn't picking up enough hours after that happened at Old Chicago, and I had to get a real job, and I told Kingslayer that, like, I already turned down, like, 2 jobs that would have afforded me, like, I could have been making a good amount of money by now. One started at $13 an hour, and it was CAD driving at Rainbow Designs. I turned it down because
doing what? Hold on, wait a minute, doing what?
CAD driving. CAD driving is it's a digital. I forget what CAD stands for, but it's this digital conversion program where you type in like coordinates and you kind of map stuff out.
Oh, okay.
You're kind of like, it's almost like updating Google Maps, but coordinate based. It's not pictures or anything like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, I turned that down. That was like 13 something starting. I think I was 13.50 starting, and then after your first 90 days, they bump you up. But I was going to be on second shift, and
hey man, second shift ain't that bad.
no, I wish I'd done it because me and this other person, I think things would be going a little bit smoother between us if we could have been on the same schedule. Mm-hmm. But I turned it down not just for Kingslayer because that was the main reason. Well.
That was one of the main reasons.
Well, kind of. I mean, it sounds like a lawsuit were willing to work with me on finding a different day to practice, but as far as Kingslayer is concerned, we had a tour coming up, and I didn't want to turn down the tour. I wanted to do the tour.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like a mini tour. It was like 4 days. It was like we'd be leaving on Thursday, and we'd be back like sometime on Monday to play Metal Monday, and then I'd be free to do whatever. And they told me before, like when I got the phone call to come in and do the interview, to let them know what the dates were, and they try to work something out.
Mm-hmm.
And they tried, and it didn't work out at all. I like the week of my training class was the same week I'd be on tour. And they were not going to let me miss the training class or miss any days of work in the first 90 days. They were very strict about that.
Yeah, that's why a lot of companies are.
So I called, I had said something through, I told Chris to message me. I was like, look, I got something I got to talk about. Can we talk on the phone about it? He's like, yeah, let me get out of work and I'll give you a call whenever I get home. I'm like, okay. So Chris called me and he's like, look, man, if you've got to quit, I understand, dude. We all got bills to pay and stuff. I mean, it's upsetting. We all love you, man, but you got to do what you got to do. You got to take care of yourself. And it was a rough thing for me to do, to have to let go of Kingslayer, because I loved it so much. There was like the energy being in like I'm not going to say a high profile band, but when I used to tell people that I was in Kingslayer, they'd be like, oh, really? That's awesome, man. Like, I know who you guys are.
Yeah, a lot of people knew when you brought up the name. A lot of people were like, oh.
And I still drop the Kingslayer card sometimes now. Not like I'm in the band anymore, but I used to be in Kingslayer. Like, oh, dude, seriously? That's awesome. I still bring it up, and it's given me a really good reputation as a musician around town. But it was such a tough thing to have to let go of that. But I had to make a responsible decision. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to be 28 living in a basement.
Being a neckbeard?
Yeah, I don't want to be a neckbeard, and right now I'm neckbearding the heck out of my life, so I got to get out of this.
Hey, man, I'm neckbearding too.
Yeah. But yeah, I turned down 2 jobs for that.
Maybe we should change our podcast name to Neckbeard Podcast.
Neckbeard Podcast.
No, I refuse to do that.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I don't either. No.
I think we might go back.
I think that would be funny. I think that'd be funny. Just little joke. But.
Yeah. Well, I'm considering. I was going to talk to you about this. We should probably talk about this off mic. But I was thinking about we should go back to the old name.
Yeah, probably so.
Because it's more original than what we're doing now.
Yeah, because remember you look on YouTube, there's like 20.
Goon Squads.
Goon Squads. Yeah. And they have a podcast.
I just like the name, but it's so overdone.
But we got more views than all of them.
Yeah, we got more love.
Yeah, especially in those first 2 podcasts we did.
Yeah, we did.
We need to go back to that format again.
Probably will. We probably will. We're technically doing it right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as music is concerned, that's all I really did this year besides working on the Sounds Like a Lawsuit record. With my bros, we're working with Jordan Haynes, who's recording for Foxbat and Catechus. I actually had an audition for Catechus, and I passed on it. Wish I hadn't. I might be able to set something up in the future, maybe next year once I get things settled down. I'll figure it out, and I'll hit them up again and see if they want to work with me or not. Who knows, man?
Just don't tell them you're going to go get a real job.
Well, that's one of the reasons why I kind of passed up on the audition. Is just because
that was hilarious when you said it killed me. Like you said, I had to go get a real job.
Whenever I have this conversation with anybody, that's what I say because it's the truth.
Yeah.
There's not a single part of that is fabricated. Yeah. It's the God's honest truth, man. What else we got? We covered music. We covered.
Next thing is relationships and friendships.
Man, relationships. I don't have a whole lot to share from this year. Earlier this year, I had a bad breakup last year that really messed me up. I kind of had a situation for like a couple weeks with somebody that I really liked, and they kind of passed on me. And then I dated Nikki earlier this year, and that was bad.
Man, you guys were a cute couple.
We were kind of a cute couple, but we didn't make any sense, man. There was one specific time that I can think where I realized it wasn't right. Mm-hmm. Like when we got into that whole thing, I was kind of just going with the flow.
Yeah.
And I really did think she was a cool person. I actually did like her. I liked her as a friend really well. But we didn't really know each other that well. Mm-hmm. So when we hung out, I was trying to pay her a compliment just to kind of make her feel better. I mean, it was true. What I was saying was true. But I was trying to like give her some positive reinforcement because she just seemed kind of down, and she kissed me, and it surprised me. And then we wound up, turning it into something.
Don't incriminate yourself on here.
What? All I said was we wound up going out on a date, man. I didn't say anything else. I said we're keeping this PG-13.
Don't incriminate yourself on here.
I'm not. Anyway, it just didn't wind up working out, man. We just turned out to be 2 different people. I actually won't. I was going to trash her a little bit, but I don't want to do that.
Whoa. I said, don't incriminate yourself on me.
Hey, I stopped myself. It wasn't even really trashing. It was just like giving people an idea. Okay, yeah, it was. So we'll pass on that part of the podcast. But yeah, that just didn't work out. And I'm whatever. Life goes on. Life goes on.
It sure does, man. Sure does.
Yeah, I've got somebody that I've been hanging out with recently that's pretty cool, and we'll see where that goes. But yeah, I think that pretty much does it for like relationships and stuff, and friendships. And shout out John Bird for getting married.
Yep. Shout out to my other homie James Wachowski.
Cowboy James.
Yep. He got married as well.
Yep. The other backup dancer. There's a running joke. Derek's birthday, 2012. We went to a club. We went to O'Shea's. And
Oh yeah, God,
for your birthday.
Dude, I don't remember. Dude, I don't remember any of my birthdays, dude. I honestly do not remember. It just to throw it. Yeah, this this year, I ended up waking up in my grandmother's bathtub because I was so drunk.
Are you serious?
Yeah, James and John picked me up out of the car and took me into my grandmother's house and put me in the tub. Because I was like throwing up and stuff. I was that bad. So next year, 2018, I'm taking it easy. Like I'm thinking maybe a dinner and that's it. But yeah, that nice. And I'm looking forward to a nice dinner. And
I wish y'all could have seen my reaction.
Oh my god, dude. Yeah,
I didn't hear about this.
Yeah, no, dude, when they talk about shit shows, that was a shit show. Like, I get friends that were there at the party that I just don't remember, and they will tell me, it's like, dude, last time I talked to you was on your birthday. I was like, oh god, I immediately just like, what did I do?
Yep.
And it's just like, yeah, you try to. One joke that goes around is I try to jump in the middle of the street of Bardstown Road and power up like Goku.
I'm so sorry.
There's a video, and apparently there's a video of that out there somewhere. One of my friends has it, and I just have not been able to get a hold of this video to see it. But yeah,
oh, that messed me up, dude.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that one yet.
Yeah, I was in the middle of this. I try to power up in the middle of the street like Goku. I wish
That is
I could
too
get a
funny.
hold of this video so I could just watch it. And when I'm down and I want a good laugh, I can watch it. But yeah, it happened. So again, next year,
Man, here you go, man. Here's my hoodie,
I'm
man.
good, dude. I'm good. No, but so next year I'm making this public. Nice dinner,
Like, okay.
which I feel like that dinner is gonna go extremely left. Like somebody is gonna encourage me to
Yep,
go out
it's gonna
and
happen.
try to shake my ass. And I'm gonna be like, all right, let's do it.
Yep.
I'm gonna have a like some alcoholic beverage at dinner, and I'm like, you know what, I'm feeling good, I'm having a great time. You guys wanna keep this party going?
Speaking of having a great time, we are Eskimo brothers. Is that the term?
Yes, we are Eskimo brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't have to talk about it. You don't
we
want to talk
can.
about
We
it.
can. I mean, it was actually a great time of my life. I don't regret anything. I take it back. I do regret that it ended. I still,
I'm not laughing at that. I'm laughing at.
still me powering up like Goku.
No, well, it wasn't. No, something
Or
else.
that the fact that we're Eskimo brothers.
Well, that's part of it, but the other part of it, I don't
Okay,
feel like I should say.
we'll talk about it later.
Yeah,
But
we're not going to talk about it on the podcast.
like I said, it was a great moment. I enjoyed every bit of it. I just wish that it didn't have to come to an end.
Things are rough, man.
Yeah,
People changed in the most dramatic ways, and
Yeah, it was a
Stressful
lot
situations.
of stress was put on both of us.
yeah,
Her and I were definitely coming from both coming from stressful situations, and we just couldn't. It was best that we just walked away, and things could. We're still friends. We still talk. Things could happen to where we pick it back up.
yeah.
And if it does, that's great. And if it doesn't, that's also great as well. But it sucks that it happened. It was a real high point of this year, and
Yeah, you guys looked good together.
One of my goals that I wanted to have was to find somebody that I was compatible with, and I was so happy when it happened. And I'm at it's a low point now, but I'm working through it, and I hope things are going well with her. And
Yeah, absolutely. All you can do is wish them the best.
Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say on that matter.
No, I understand.
Yeah.
I'm at an impasse with that girl I was talking about earlier. That's pretty cool. We'll see where it goes, but we're not really talking right now. She's going through some stuff, and I overreacted like a jackass without thinking.
Yeah.
Like most men do. So now I'm just shutting up and hoping that things come back. I think they will. We've got a lot of chemistry together.
Yeah, man. Everything works itself out. It's
I've got a lot of faith
as you're
in that.
willing to listen. Talk and listening is the major key to relationships.
Communication.
Yeah. There's no communication. That's where things fall down.
Yeah.
So I wish you the best of luck, man.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
What's our next topic?
Our next topic, I think it's our last topic.
Yeah, we're actually at 40 minutes in the show right now, so we're actually doing pretty good.
Before we bounce out of here, is goals for next year.
So what do you have written down?
So for me, I definitely want to get back into the gym. I definitely have attained dad bod status this fall winter season. I would like to step out of this cocoon that I call dad bod into a decent bod for the spring summer time. So I definitely want to get back in the gym and start eating better. I actually told myself today I am going to have my last Baconator of the year. So I had that for lunch today.
Nice.
And
Congratulations.
hopefully I can stick with it. And probably going to cut out a lot of alcohol. So tonight is going to be probably my last hurrah for quite a while.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so I'm going to enjoy myself tonight. I'm not going to enjoy myself too much to where, I'm stupid. But, I'm going to enjoy myself tonight with a couple bros of mine. And then, I'm going to really cut back on the alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still going to have the occasional beer every now and then because I like to consider myself a beer not a beer snob, a beer connoisseur, because I do like what people call trashy beers. I still love those as well. I love my.
I'll hold my tongue.
I love Coolers. I love Bud Light. I love Budweiser. I like all those commercialized beers. I will drink. If somebody hands me one of those, I will not turn my nose up to it. I will thank you and I will drink it. But I'm definitely gonna, like I said, cut that out. What is the other thing that I wrote on here? I do want to get out and travel more, either in state. I would love to go out of the country. I would love to go out of the country this year.
Be a cool thing.
If anybody wants to sponsor me and to go somewhere, I will definitely find the time and I will definitely come visit and hang out outside of the country. But that's one thing. I do want to get out of the state more. I did that a little bit this year. Did it a lot more in the past couple years. Would like to continue the trend of that. And something else I want to get back. I want to get back into doing. When I went to college, I did a lot of. I went to school for computers and stuff like that, graphics. So I definitely want to get back into graphics and stuff like that.
Graphic design.
Yeah, graphic design. Definitely want to get back into doing some stuff like that. Doing a lot of printing, screen printing, vinyl printings, heat press. Definitely want to get into that. I do have the tools to do all this stuff, so I might as well just break it out and actually use it.
Mm-hmm.
And also, just trying to, work on myself, physically, mentally, make sure that I'm all right, not run down, and trying to stay happy, man. Trying to figure out, just trying to find stuff to do to keep myself busy.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the key things to, I guess, trying to stay mentally and mentally healthy is trying to find something you want to do, you like doing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It releases
Yeah.
chemicals in the brain and stuff. Yeah.
There's always there's a healthy way of doing everything. Everybody, of course, people like to, indulge in drugs and, alcohol, but, that's physically not healthy.
Yeah,
And
it can,
and there's other ways of doing that, talking about it on a podcast. That's one thing I enjoy doing, and I love, it gives me a joy. Yeah, it gives me a joy just to express, how I feel. I don't have to keep that bottled inside, But yeah, man. What else are we? What are your goals?
My goals this year, man. I mean, I really didn't write down too much.
I had something else on my list, but it's inappropriate, so I'm not gonna.
Okay.
I'm just gonna leave it off.
On my list, I've got finished writing the Sounds Like a Lawsuit record. I mean, we've been writing. We took a little bit of time off from playing shows in order to get some stuff done, and I'm actually trying to schedule us a show right now. Actually, I did just schedule us a show for January 11th, and when the details are out, I'll let everybody know.
Word.
But we took some time off from that to finish writing the record. We got a couple of creative blocks we got to get past, but I want to get that done, and I want to get that released this year. Of course, there'll be an album release show. It's gonna be crazy, dude. I'm gonna do as much as I can with that. I'm gonna work on my vices. I was told this year that I come off as controlling, and that's something that really bothers me. So that's something I'm going to work on. The things that were brought up didn't sound controlling to me, but they absolutely are. So that's something I'm going to work on. I don't want to be that person. I don't want to burn bridges trying to be that kind of person or allowing myself to be that person. So yeah, I'm going to fix that. I'm going to try and shoot my first film this year. Probably be a short film. I don't really have a script or anything together yet, but I want to.
You've already shot a film.
I mean, I made a film years ago, but that was... Shut up. I was trying not to bring that up earlier. Shut up. Why would you bring that up?
I'm sorry. I just had to be a dick for a minute, dude. I'm sorry.
What the hell? That's what I was trying to pass on earlier. Anyway. Why would you... I guess you can allude to this stuff and be PG-13. Anyway, shut up. Shut up. I really want to record my solo record, which I've already talked to Justin Reasons from Era of Machines. He's going to help me record that. I think we're going to record the drums in Frankfort, Kentucky. That's where he does his stuff at.
Word.
I want to work on this podcast. I want us to bring this back. More episodes, doing it more often.
Yeah, definitely improve this son of a gun.
Yeah, I mean, all we can do is improve. Right now, we're at the very bottom. I want to start my career in craft beer, find a better job.
Yeah, dude.
This recently, after some talks I had with a very good friend of mine, she wants me to find a career, and I am going to do my best to find one. I don't like what I told her about it. We got into a fight a little bit ago, but that night I basically told her that a career for me is like the end of the road, and I shouldn't have said that because that's not true. I've always been afraid to commit to something like in those terms, like job-wise,
Yeah, man.
But I feel like now I really need to start trying harder because I don't want to be in my late 30s still working in a warehouse making minimum wage. I don't want to do that. So I'm going to try, and I've got a few connections in the craft beer world, so I might try to venture out in that. That's something I'm very passionate about. I like to consider myself a beer connoisseur as well.
Bring the beer podcast back.
Well, I actually bring the beer podcast at all. We never even got around to starting it. We've been talking about it for a year and a half.
I've got the notes on the computer.
Yep.
I've got the whole I've laid the groundwork. I've got the groundwork, the architect work down. We just need to we need to spearhead it.
Yeah, I mean, those are my goals for this year. And of course, dieting is another thing that I'm doing. This friend of mine is a diabetic.
Yes, you do.
So she's on. Oh wow, you really do.
Yeah,
that's awesome. But yeah, she's a diabetic. She's on a restrictive diet, so she can't really eat the same things as other people can. And I have changed my diet accordingly, and it's actually helped me lose weight. So I'm going to continue that into the next year. try to add more working out into my regimen and just really work on myself. So I'm not just going to let these goals just be goals like I do every year. Where I'll set something and then I'll kind of do it for a minute and drop out like most people will.
Because last year, dude, I accomplished all my. I literally accomplished. I had 3 goals last year.
What were
and
they?
I accomplished all 3 of them. One I've already said was trying to really working on trying to find a companion, which I did. This time I just need to work at with some small things to keep said relationship in. The second one was I was not happy at the job that I was in. I wanted something else. I wanted to do something else, and I don't work at that place anymore. I don't work at Lowe's anymore.
Yep.
I work at Humana.
Yeah, so that's
Currently I still work at Humana. Fingers crossed. But yeah, I worked there. So that was the second thing, and then the third thing was, it was to get back in the gym, to get to the gym and work out. I technically did that. I got to the gym. I worked out for a good amount of time that I was of the year. I probably stopped around May. Yeah, probably May, June. Yeah, it's probably when I really stopped. And I was trickling in July, but then by August I was completely done with the gym. I didn't go to the gym hardly. I take it back. I was here and there. I wasn't every day like I was all those other times. Like I was Monday through Friday, and depending on what I did, if I was sore or if I was busy or I had other engagements, I wouldn't go. But I was Mr. Monday through Friday.
Yeah. At
the gym. But now, and also this new job has actually made it a lot difficult to try to go to a gym as well. But
really?
Yeah, because I'm Monday through Friday.
The
shift that I work is a lot more difficult, and I don't. The whole reason why I would go to the gym was I would leave work, I would go to the gym, I would drive downtown to pick my sister up, and I would drop her off at the house, or I would go do something like if I got out of work late, I'd go pick my sister up, drop her off at the house, and then go to the gym. The gym was close. Now I live farther away from the gym, so it's a little bit harder. I need to find a more a better location gym that has all the things that I need. But I kind of want to hold off on that because I don't plan on staying in the area that I'm at. So
understand.
I don't want to really change too much. But
yeah.
Lucky about Planet Fitness is everywhere. So
yeah,
all you
absolutely.
need to do is just find one near you that works. So
pretty much.
yeah. So that's where I'm coming with that. But like I said, maybe we can find something. Maybe we can collab on some days. Find a place and
depending on how things go in the next couple of months, I'll probably let you know.
Definitely for sure. Because everybody and their grandmothers are going to start signing up to gyms here soon. But still with those type of people, it's not hard to get a workout in. You just gotta figure out a time when people are going and when things are less busy and just go.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah.
I feel like I accomplished some goals this year.
Yeah.
Playing more shows was one of them. Releasing a single, that was one of them. Recording a record, which we're working on, that was another one of them. Had a couple relationships this year, but yeah. I met some of my goals.
Yeah.
I did. I got out of I won't say that. I did get out of Lowe's. I got fired.
Yeah.
But I still got out.
You still got out, man. You made it out.
I made it out.
Yeah, you made it out. That's all that really matters, really, just getting out.
I suppose so.
Yeah.
But yeah. So here's to a successful 2017, I suppose. Bettering ourselves in some ways and
definitely bettering this podcast for sure, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
we're really going to come back at this really hard.
Just try to be patient and stay tuned and try to help you boys out as much as possible.
Yeah, We wish you guys a.
Because your man's trying to out here catch Pokemans and stuff.
Oh my God, he really is. He just pulled up Pokemon Go right now.
I still play them.
I mean, I have it. I just haven't gotten out.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, we wish you guys a good 2018, and we will see you guys next year.
Yeah.
So this is T-Mass.
D Brooks, a.k.a. Vash D.
And we out.
We out.